I'm here today to review Stephen King's Storm of the Century, February 14th, 1999. Since this movie is 4 hours long, we're going to split this into two parts. I haven't done a review like that since 2010 on my other channel. Storm of the Century was a miniseries that aired on ABC back in 1999, as you heard me say earlier. And it's basically about this group of people that live on an island called Little Tall. It's in Maine. I've noticed that mostly all of the Stephen King movies that I've seen take place in Maine. And this guy named André Linoge comes to town and he's got supernatural powers. He's evil, and if that's not bad enough, he seems to know all of your dark secrets, all of the sins that you've committed. And he goes to this random lady's house and he rings the doorbell. And when she opens the door, he says, "Born in lust, turn to dust. Born in sin, come on in." And when he says that, he just hits her over the head with a cane with a wolf's head on it. Her name is Martha Clarington, and she is played by Rita Tuckett. After André Linoge kills her, he stays in the house and he revels in his murder. And he destroys the TV. He just starts doing all kinds of weird shit. I don't get it. He just starts talking to himself. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. He's out of his mind. And some guy named Davy Hopewell comes and sees that she's dead. But then Andre tells Davy that he'll never make it in the NBA. And that scares Davy, so he runs out of the house screaming. And then André Linoge takes the basketball that Davy was using and he throws it at the TV. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, this movie's crazy. I mean, I have to admit, and I don't care who gets mad, but I think Stephen King is better than John Carpenter. 'Cause all of his movies that I've seen are scary as hell. I'm sorry. You could think what you want, but they're scary as hell. And I'm about to start a Stephen King collection. I want to give a shout out to a group that I'm in called SKL. It stands for Stephen King Lovers. Getting back to the review, the boy Davy Hopewell runs out of the house and he tells some guy that Martha Clarington died. The constable, Mike Anderson, he gives this little speech. He says, "I'm not a scholar, but I know you have to pay as you go in this world. Sometimes you have to pay a little, sometimes you have to pay a lot. Sometimes you have to pay all you have." And when I heard those lines, I thought to myself, that's some epic stuff, because when I heard the lines, I said, obviously something terrible is about to happen. And Mike Anderson is basically letting you know that something terrible did happen on Little Tall Island in 1989. Hey, the guy that little Davy Hopewell talks to is the town manager, Robbie Beals, and he's played by Jeffrey DeMunn. And you also have the character of Ralphie Anderson, and he's played by Dylan Christopher. And of course, the villain, André Linoge, who's played by Colm Feore. I think that's how you pronounce it. Davy tells Robbie that Martha Clarington is dead, and Robbie doesn't believe him, but then he checks and he sees for himself that she's dead. And Andre is sitting in the house eating the lady's cookies. And like I said, he knows all your sins. Mike Anderson, played by Tim Daly, comes and locks him up and takes him to a basement with bars, and he puts him in there. And André Linoge tells the constable before he locks him up, "Give me what I want and I'll go away." And he makes everyone write that. He has these powers, as I told you. What he wants, I'll reveal in the second part of my review. And I think that Mike Anderson knows that Andre isn't human as we go further into the movie. He just doesn't want to say it because he doesn't want to sound crazy. But deep down, I think he knows he's not human. Now, here's one thing I don't get. André Linoge, who's played by Colm Feore, I just wanted to reiterate that, picks Ralphie up and he kisses him on his nose. So a complete stranger walks in, picks a child up and kisses him. There was this lady named Katrina Withers. She ended up killing her boyfriend or her husband or whoever he was by taking the cane with the wolf's head on it and bashing him in the head because she found out that he had an affair with somebody, and he found out that she got an abortion because she didn't trust him. And André Linoge had the power to make these people do all this. And the one thing that I don't get is if he had all this power, why couldn't he just take what it is that he wanted? That's kind of a contradiction, don't you think? And Stephen King never really made it clear what André Linoge was. Was he a demon? Was he some kind of ancient god? Was he the devil himself? We don't really know. Because, as I said in so many other Stephen King reviews, he never really makes the answers clear. It's like he wants you to figure it out for yourself. Katrina kills her husband, and she's sitting there singing the "I'm a Little Teapot" song. I don't know why that song is connected to this movie, but for some reason it is. And she's hypnotized because she can't believe what she's done. She's basically under his spell. And so they take her and they put her with everyone else. They're not going to condemn her. And by the way, I thought I should point out that they all say that they can all keep a secret on that island. Whatever is said or done on Little Tall Island stays on Little Tall Island. And I think that that's how André Linoge was able to get to them, because they kept their sins a secret. So he capitalized on that. I noticed that Stephen King has a theme going with his movies, that when you keep things a secret, it never works out. I noticed that about his movies. And I noticed that most of his movies take place in Maine. Maybe that's where he grew up. I don't know. Mike Anderson is married to a lady named Molly. She's played by Deborah Farentino. Katrina is played by Julianne Nicholson. I just wanted to let you guys know that. As they're at the police station or whatever it is, they realize that Katrina didn't mean to do it, that she's basically crazy. The constable, Mike Anderson, figures out that somehow André Linoge made her do it, and then after all these bizarre things start happening, this is when Mike Anderson realizes that André Linoge isn't human. I'm used to having a villain that knows all your secrets, because you know Wishmaster, they had that guy, he knew your secrets, and then they had the devil himself in Needful Things, which is a 1993 horror movie. If you guys want to check that out, I've already reviewed that. André Linoge is responsible for all the bad things that have happened recently. Stay tuned for the second part of my review of Stephen King's Storm of the Century. Thank you.